Welcome to a Trucker's Mind podcast. I'm Eddie McGee.
It's your boy K Thanks.
And we are back, man. Episode 365. Man, that fucking siren threw me off. As soon as we start the podcast, somebody commits a crime. God damn. All right. Episode 365. Let's get right into it. Recently, a high school relay runner hit a girl over the head with a baton, and she acted as if, let's just run the clip and then we'll come back to this conversation.
I think you should read the thing first.
The headline first?
Yeah, because the girls are responding to
Yeah.
what happened.
All right, let's do it. I know how to read, so let's read today. All right, a high school track athlete faces a misdemeanor charge of assault and battery after a now viral video showed her hitting a competitor's head with her baton during a relay event. Alayla Everett, a senior at IC Norcom High School in Portsmouth, was running the second leg of the 4x200 meter relay when her baton struck Kaylin Tucker, a junior from Brookville High School, in the head. It happened March 4th during the Virginia State School League Championships at Liberty University in Lynchburg. That's a hell of a name. She got lynched in Lynchburg. Bethany Harrison, the Commonwealth's attorney for the city of Lynchburg, confirmed to ABC News on Tuesday that the misdemeanor charge of assault and battery was issued against Everett in the matter. Additional details on the case were not immediately available. A video of the incident showed Tucker staggering and reaching for her head after being hit before going off the track. She dropped her baton and was attended to by medical personnel shortly after the incident. She would later be diagnosed with a concussion, she told ABC affiliate in Hampton, Virginia. And in quote, this is what the victim said. "I was in disbelief, Tucker World. I didn't know what happened." Everett contended that baton strike was an accident in an interview and aired Tuesday on Good Morning America. "I never would do that on purpose," Everett said. "That's not my character." Okay, let's go ahead and run the video.
"I know my intentions and I would never hit somebody on purpose. They're going off of one angle." After a couple times hitting her, my baton got stuck behind her back like this and it rolled up her back. I lost my balance, and when I pumped my arms again, she got hit. They're assuming my character, calling me ghetto, racist slurs, death threats, all of this just because of a 9-second video. Everybody has feelings. So you're physically hurt, but you're not thinking of my mental, right? I know my intentions.
Okay. Let the record show, every angle you look guilty. Every angle you look like you were trying to hit her in the head. So let me be very clear here. This young lady this is when you could use the term narcissist. I think this is fitting, right? This person she's a liar. And don't fall for the tears. I think some of the most guilty people try to mislead you with tears. And then I think the most disgusting shit that this young lady said, she said, "She might be hurt, but what about my mental?" Like, her mental would be fine if you didn't give her a fucking concussion.
Yeah.
A concussion is bad for your mental health. Did you know that?
Mm-hmm.
And it's kind of funny you mentioned mental health when you distorted her mental. I mean, that is assault. That is a definition of assault, taking an object, a blunt object, and smashing her across the head. How hefty are those batons? I'm curious.
They're pretty light.
They're pretty light?
I think they're made out of aluminum. They're super light.
They're super light?
Yeah, but it's still like metal. You know what I mean? Like it's still.
So you get struck hard enough, you can probably get a concussion. Yeah. Oh, by the way, she was struck in the back of the head. Mm-hmm. That's more susceptible. This is and this is just off the cuff. I'm saying this, but this is why shots to the back of the head are illegal in UFC. Any shot to the back of the head is a penalty for that reason, because the back of your head is more.
Yeah, same thing with boxing.
Yeah, all the shots to the back of the head are that way. So we may say, hey, it's light, but hey, she got a concussion.
Yeah, when I first seen it, I was thinking, just me. I ran track my whole life, but when I first seen it, I was like, dang, that seemed a little like getting a concussion. That seemed a little excessive. But then you think like, these women are running full speed, you know what I mean? And like you said, she getting hit in the back of the head, and she kind of like dipped off the track. I thought it was more like a basketball foul. like basketball, you kind of got to play into it.
Yeah.
Like I thought maybe she was hoping that like it would lead to some sort of disqualification or something like that. But just kind of thinking about, like you said, getting hit in the back of the head, I would imagine that definitely could lead to a concussion, especially when you're not expecting it. You're just running track. But I think the biggest reason why it's a lie is because she was getting passed up. Like when you are running as fast as you can and somebody else is running faster than you, and she was in like second place at the time. Mm-hmm. So somebody coming around her and she just got way more speed and she about to beat you around that curve. That would make anybody feel some sort of jealousy or envy against the person that they're passing.
Instantaneous rage.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
My God.
Yeah. So that's like, yeah. So I all this like, what about my mental and all this stuff? That's all like that's all entertainment. There's a girl who was about to, I don't know what leg they were on, but she was, helping her team get into second place, and then all of a sudden she get bopped in the head and she off the track. Like, and then she tried to say that the thing got caught in the
It's a lie.
Yeah, and then there was some guy that came out from USA Track and Field that was basically saying like there needs to be a certain amount of meters in between like the person passing and stuff like that, like passing there to be safe. Like there needs to be a certain distance between a person that is trying to like cut in front of somebody else or something like that. I was like, why would he come out and say that?
That's dumb.
Yeah.
You know what needs to happen? Just don't fucking hit people with batons.
Yeah.
That's all that needs to happen.
Yeah.
That's all. If I'm a father, right? And if I'm a father and I'm watching my daughter get assaulted and hit with a fucking baton in the head, I'm looking for her dad. I'm looking for somebody that I could punch in the face because I can't hit that young lady. Right. And I think that in that moment, violence is not the best thing. It's not. But my daughter is getting hit in the head. I'm going to lose it.
Yeah.
I'm going to lose it.
Yeah.
That's fucked up, man. That ain't cool. Yeah. I wonder how her parents felt about that situation. And this is also why it's important, parents, that you go to these events, you go to these games, football games, track meets, everything. Because your kids need representation. Imagine something like that happening and you're just sitting on the couch and you're not going to your kids' events.
Mm-hmm. You catch it on the news like everybody else.
Yeah, you can't. You're a spectator in your own child's situation. There's no way. Mm-hmm. I remember there was some years ago I was playing some pickup ball in the park and it was this young man and I was like, what school y'all go to? He's like, oh, I go to West High. Mm-hmm. I was like, you go to West? I was like, you play on the team? He's like, nah. I was like, bro, get on the team, man. He's like, yeah, I'm thinking about it. I was like, bro, if you get on the team, I'll come to your games. He's like, really? You'll come? Damn. I was like, yeah, bro, I'll come to your games. And in that moment, I knew what it felt like. I'm not saying I knew what it felt like, but it felt like I was a dad going to see his son, mm-hmm. right? Mind you, at the time, I'm probably like 30. Fuck, that was years ago. So I had to be about 33. Mm-hmm. I was like 33, and he was like a junior about to be a senior. Mm-hmm. And I was like, yeah, I'll come to your games. And it's just like, fuck, man, kids need representation. Mm-hmm. Big time. Especially when something like this happens, man.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah. But that part of that, the cool thing about this is that you do see the parents sitting next to their on both ends, you see the parents sitting next to the daughters, the victim and the one that's doing the baton hitting. So
she got to go to jail, bro. She got to go to. How old is she?
I think she's a senior or something like that.
Yeah, they need to wait to the end of the year and take her to jail.
The sad part about things like this with track is that you don't really get a second opportunity. Mm-hmm. And it looks like it was indoor track, so they still have their outdoor season. To run, so it's not the end of the world for them, but I just say like they're not going to run the event again. That it's not like they're going to line up again to rerun it or something like that. In that instant, it ain't like football where you can do the play over or something like that. Like you get a new set of downs or whatever. Like that's just pretty much the end. They probably just disqualified that team, and then they probably disqualified the other girl also because she ran out of she ran off the track.
I think it's fucked up. She shouldn't get DQ'd. She got assaulted. She can't control that. Track's got to update something. I don't know what they're gonna do, but that's fucked up. I shouldn't be DQ'd because I got fucking hit in the head.
Yeah, I mean, it's not I think they are understanding of it, but it's like you don't have a time because you didn't finish the race.
Oh, man.
So it ain't like, I mean, you might be able to finagle somewhere you just give them second because it looked like they was about to win anyways, but yeah, I don't know what you could do about that.
Oh, my goodness.
Yeah.
I think I'm going to start trying that whole thing, that whole crying thing, so I can invalidate other people's feelings.
Yeah.
That's going to work. Like, I'm going to just start crying, like, after sex. He's like, I know you didn't orgasm, but what about my feelings? What about my mental? I came fast, but it's not my fault.
Like, what if the pussy was just too good? Like, what have you ever thought about that? Like, the pussy was just too good.
Just flip it on her. I had a long day at work, and you think that I'm going to have sex like that? You need to find a man with no job.
Yeah, you got to do that in every situation.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm just going to start using. See, here's the difference, though. I think women get away with it, but women are going to look at us crying, and they're not going to go for it because nobody really cares about men
For sure.
crying.
Yeah.
You start crying, they're going to be like, all right, this guy's unhinged. Yeah. Oh, man. You definitely couldn't pull that shit off after sex. They'll be like, women would probably tell you to your face, you know what? I'm going to go find a real man. I'm out of here. My ex was toxic, but he could keep it up. Oh, my God. Now I'm crying for real. God damn.
That's crazy.
Oh,
Yeah,
man.
just pull out the waterworks.
Oh, man. You got to try that shit at a fast food restaurant, man.
Yeah.
They get your order wrong. Like, I ordered a 20-piece. It's only 17 nuggets in here, and I've been working so hard. I didn't get the raise that I asked for at work, and all I wanted was 20 nuggets. You're like, oh, here, ma'am. You imagine the McDonald's associate here just reach into the batch of nuggets and just here.
Yeah.
Here, shut the fuck up.
Just, give you a little 5-piece.
Take these fucking nuggets. I was thinking the other day, this is unrelated, but the greatest era for fast food was in the 90s up to like the early 2000s. It was top tier, bro. Whether it was McDonald's or Wendy's, all of them, it was top tier, bro. Remember Wendy's back in the day when it had the silver packaging?
Yeah.
That's when the foil. That's when Wendy's was top notch, man. Wendy's still cool. I fuck with Wendy's, bro. I still fuck with Wendy's. But McDonald's was fire back in the day. Yeah. That's when they was using the dark meat.
Yeah.
The dark meat chicken nuggets and the dark meat McChickens. That shit was way better, dude. Now I don't really eat out at all. Most of my meals I eat at home.
Yeah.
But when I do eat out now and then, I just don't feel right. I feel kind of sick.
Right. Yeah.
I don't know if it's the ingredients they're using or the oils that they fry that shit in.
Maybe a little bit of both. Also, to me, I know it's just not as satisfying.
No.
Like you'd be like, dang, I haven't had McDonald's in a while. Let me go get a Big Mac or something like that. And then you eat it and you just like, this wasn't really worth like having this, life-altering meal,
No, not at all. And first of all, let's be clear. The portions seem like they're getting smaller and the prices are going up. So it's like, it's not worth it, man. I remember there was a time when not Big Macs, but Jumbo Jacks, I remember the prices. Back in the day, a Jumbo Jack was $175. Like back in probably like when I was in high school, right? Probably like $1.75 or like $2. Then it went from that to $2.25. Then it went to $2.50. Then it went to $3.50. Then it went to $3.79. Now that shit is like $6-something, I think.
Ain't that's crazy.
I'm like, God damn.
I went to have a burger today, and I got 2 meals.
Okay.
Bro, I spent $37.
God damn.
I was like, yo, I don't know what was going on. But yeah, that's just too much for
$37? And it's just 2 regular meals?
I got a little shake on top of it, but that's the shake, shouldn't have put it over the top that crazy.
Yeah, you got a shake and you got shook down. Motherfuckers taking your money.
A stick up for sure.
Yeah. Shake, shake, shake. Shake your dollars.
Shake your dollars.
Shake your dollars. Oh, shake, shake. Dun, 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 dun. Disco is so crazy. No, man.
Yeah.
This shit costs too much.
Yeah, it does.
I went to Taco Bell one time, not too long ago, and I hadn't been there in forever, but I went to Taco Bell and I got like 2 Doritos tacos and like a chalupa. I love the chalupas there.
Chalupas are good.
They're fire. I'm not a big fan of much at Taco Bell at all, but the chalupas are always top tier to me. I like getting the nacho cheese chalupas too.
Yeah.
Oh, it's so good. So I did that, but probably like 20 minutes later, I had to take a shit, dude.
Oh my God.
I was in denial. I was like, no, I don't. Right? No, I don't. Maybe, I don't know. Maybe I just feel a little weird, but I'm fine. Right? And I was like, no, I don't. No, I don't. I got a shit. Right? I was out running some errands, but I had to go back home. And I was like, you know what? Me and Taco Bell will not be seeing each other for a while. Yeah, something was up.
Yeah.
Yeah, something was definitely afoot that day.
I think that the time when I had like the most immediate, like, you know, food reaction like that, where I had to just go, you know, use the bathroom, was some random Burger King in Arizona when I was driving to school. And it was at like, you know, it was like a typical like gas, like one of those kind of stops to get gas.
Like something you see in a movie, like a horror movie?
No, not like that. It was just like
it wasn't
like
very
gas station here, not a liquor store, but just like just a very populated spot where people stop.
Oh, okay. I thought it was like not very well lit or something.
Oh no,
You
like
know,
that.
leather face hanging out behind them.
Racism.
There ain't no niggers at this Burger King.
Yeah,
Get on out of here.
there was definitely a time where me and my girl we were driving. We were going to Arizona, I think. And we were like super low on gas. But and we got off the freeway and it was a town. It was just like, it was no black people in sight.
Wow.
And we was like, let's just keep going and stop in the next town. Because it was one of them ones where I felt like when we would have got out of the car, like people would have been looking at us like, what are y'all doing here kind of thing.
So you lost here, boy?
Yeah.
Man, we welcome you here. Your town is our town is your town.
Yeah. Yeah, right.
But you better get out of here before sundown.
What's that song? But don't try that in a small town.
Oh,
What is it?
don't try it in a small town.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But what was I saying? So I went to Burger King, but I got like a chicken sandwich or something like that, and that was one of those situations where you said like 20 minutes later, I was becoming one with nature. Nigga was doo-dooing outside.
You know the fucked up thing about it? The reason why people get sick, I think it's this. I think it's because they put those chicken sandwiches in those lamps or whatever, and if business is slow that day, those sandwiches could sit there for hours.
Yeah, that's
right?
what it was. Because it
And-
wasn't fresh at all.
Exactly. That's why when you go to these places, especially if there's no one in there eating at the time, if it's packed, right? Let's say it's tons of people in there, then no problem. I'll eat the chicken that's sitting there because it's probably been there maybe 9 minutes.
But that's the hard part though, is sometimes like you might get say you order like a grilled chicken sandwich, but we know that that's not the most popular item on the menu. So there is a situation where you can come when it's busy, but you still might get something that's sitting a little minute because like if you get a fillet of fish, we know that's not the most popular item on the menu.
It's fire.
So it could be sitting there for, like you said, 35, 45 minutes, even though it's packed, but just nobody bought it. So they just dip some in there and they still sitting there. So sometimes you could catch something like that. So even with that, you might have bought a chalupa. The chalupa might not be the most popular item on the menu. People might be mostly getting whatever, and the chicken just been sitting there for a whole hour.
That's a fact.
Yeah.
They could have gave you some. I don't know. They could have. I mean, it wasn't that many black people. They probably could have gave you one of them like indigenous chicken sandwiches. So
Yeah.
like give them the special ones. Yes, one in the back.
Yeah.
Yeah, give him one of the give him one of the colored sandwiches and then
Give him one of those. We don't like your kind around here. Chicken sandwiches.
motherfucking music change when you get in there. I don't think we should be here, babe.
Freaking tumbleweed rolling across the field.
Yeah, tumbleweed, an old chicken sandwich fried next to it.
That's crazy.
Life is crazy. Nah, but I was just thinking about how much fast food fell off, man. And it's unfortunate. It just, I'm trying to think the last time I had really good food.
Really good fast food?
Yeah, the last time I could say like going to fast food and it was fire, I went to a Wendy's, but I went to the one out in Tehachapi at the truck stop, and I told them to make everything fresh. I said, can you make everything fresh, please? They said, no problem. So they made everything fresh, and that shit was fire.
Yeah.
The bag was piping hot. Like I was holding it. It's been a long time since I held a fast food bag that was burning my hands. I said, oh, yeah, they took this right out the grease. This is straight out the grease.
For sure.
I think they fried the bag, dude. I think the bag was fried.
Yeah.
Like, oh, yeah, I'm eating this bag too.
Yeah. Yeah, we don't get, I mean, I think the biggest thing, maybe they used to have more integrity back in the day.
Oh, they did.
Because I know from working at McDonald's that we would definitely, there was a whole rack that had these trays where you would put like the meats in there. So say, for example, like this is how they would tell you when you do your little training videos or whatever. You would, I don't remember the actual time, but it was only like 7 minutes. Like it was like maybe like 14, 17 minutes or something like that. So you cook the thing and they would tell you like once that timer goes off, then you toss the meat. Like it's no longer.
Hey, yo.
Yeah. Pause. So you would just throw the patties away or whatever. But when you work in there, you realize no one is doing that, right? So like you would cook the meat, you put it in a tray, and then you stack them up like, I think like 6 or so in a tray, or maybe like 9 or something in a tray. Then you slide it in a thing, you click the little timer, and then it'll go off like beep, beep, beep. And that means like, all right, this is, no longer, you should throw it away. Like, it's, get rid of this meat. And, but what I realized is everybody there was just resetting a timer. So I was like, no one is actually abiding by the rules,
Ooh.
Yeah. It's like, and that's how I knew, like when we were talking about the other specialized meats, like the fillet of fish, like we'll throw a few of those in the grease, cook them, and then they'll be sitting there until somebody orders it. And then if somebody orders it randomly, like, dang, we should have probably cooked some of those earlier, or like the grilled chicken or whatever.
We'll move on, but the shit that fucked me up is when you said back in the day when you worked at McDonald's and that burger clamp stayed down and it didn't come up, and it liquefied the beef.
Yeah. So, I mean, I've told the story before, but basically our grill was kind of messed up. Like the store was really old. They didn't want to put no money into it because they were going to knock it down and rebuild it anyways. So one of the grills, like, I don't know what technically was wrong with it, but all I know is that when basically you set the timer and then the thing will lower down, and then after, depending on if you're cooking grilled chicken or eggs or whatever, like it'll have a certain time on the thing, and then you click the information in, and then it'll come down for 20 seconds, whatever, and then it'll come up depending on whatever item you're cooking. So what was happening was it was coming down, but when the timer went off, it wasn't raising back up. And then sometimes it'll raise up like 3 minutes later, 4 minutes. At one particular time, it was just like, it had to be like 30, 40, it had to be like 45 minutes.
Damn.
So the thing lowered, and I was cooking like some regular, some beef patties. So it lowered down, and then this is like in the heat of the battle. Like we trying to get the food out and everything like that. The thing lowered down, and then it just wasn't coming up. We done hit every button that we can to try to get it back up or whatever. And eventually, like we just move over to the other side and we just make it work or whatever. And the thing just randomly rose up, and the thing was like black, like tar almost, it almost had liquefied. So it went from like a beef patty to like
liquid beef.
Yeah, liquid beef. Yeah, it was crazy.
It makes you think. Here's the problem. I can tell you what the problem is. That tells you what kind of cut of meat it is. Yeah. Some people very like conspiratorial people would be like, it's not real meat, man. I'm telling you, the children, they're stealing the children and they're making them into beef patties. It's like, no, motherfucker. What they're doing is they're taking the worst cuts of beef, all the fattiest pieces of beef, and they're molding it into patties. And what's going to happen is when you cook them for so long, it's still going to keep enough integrity to look like beef. But if you leave that shit there, because even with beef, if you burn it, it will still have enough integrity to still look like a patty.
Yeah. Normally it'd just be like really crispy.
Yeah. Yeah. But it turned into tar. That's how you know it's all fat. I think that's closer to being like bacon. Because bacon's really fat. It's fatty. It's basically pork belly. And it will turn black. Right? It's no different than their shit. Yeah. But we're talking too long about fast food, man. We got real topics to talk about.
Yes, sir.
We don't want to, I'm sorry, I don't want to disrespect our big back brothers in Christ, but we got to go ahead and move on. All right. Switching gears. State Farm executive fired after secret recording appears to show him discussing rate hikes. So this dude went on a Tinder date and was running his fucking mouth, and he was being recorded. Los Angeles, a State Farm executive has been fired after apparently making comments about the insurance company's recent rate hikes following the devastating SoCal wildfires. In a shocking turn of events, Hayden Kirkpatrick was fired after an undercover video appears to show him talking about the rate hikes. What's worse, the comments were made in a reference to fire victims in the Pacific Palisades. End quote, where the Palisades are, there should never be houses built there in the first place. Where people want to be built in areas where they have natural areas around them for their ego. But they're also its expletive desert. Kirkpatrick is heard saying in the recording, Kirkpatrick was the vice president for innovation and venture capital at State Farm. According to reporting to LA Times, he was recorded during the Tinder date saying that a request for rate hikes was kind of orchestrated, but not in the way you would think. In the video, he appears to describe a bargaining situation with the Department of Insurance. He describes a final bargaining chip of threatening to cancel policies. Okay, this is going to sound really fucked up, what I'm about to say, but this is why people in high positions at companies get shot in the head. People don't feel any empathy for, like, these people are void of empathy. When your house is burned down or you're canceling your policies, they don't feel anything, right? Now, there's a sparkle of truth when it comes to what this guy said. Like, some of those guys, some people are building houses in areas that have a lot of natural disasters and fires for their money and their ego. That's partially true. But that does not give you the right to make those statements about people and almost laugh about canceling policies. Motherfucker, no, that ain't it. I think a lot of insurance is a ripoff because you could be paying for a policy for 20 years and they could just start removing coverages without really they just let you know, but they don't pay you back. There's no retroactive pay. They don't say, hey, everything you paid for the last 10 years, we're gonna write you a check since you never used those services. They just cancel the service and move on. It's like, you're pimping me, motherfucker. That's the problem. Yeah. A lot of insurance, I feel like these insurance companies need to start writing people checks. When you don't use your policy or you don't have any issues, it should be an option for you to pay. Get paid, excuse me. Yeah. Because what's fucked up, dude, is, okay, imagine this. Imagine you got car insurance, right? You've been using the same car insurance for the last 32 years. You get in one accident and they still want a $500 deductible. Yeah. Motherfucker, why don't you use all the payments that I've been paying you for 32 years?
Where's my money going?
Where's my money going? Is it going up somebody's fucking nose for cocaine? Are you buying prostitutes? If you're going to buy prostitutes, at least give me some head. You're just taking my fucking money. That's not right, bro. It's not right what they're doing. However, what I will say too as well, I think men are foolish. Here's why. I think a lot of men are foolish because all it takes is a pretty face and a nice set of tits, and men will be idiots running their mouth on a Tinder date at that, First of all, why are you an executive at fucking State Farm, right? And you're on a Tinder date.
Right.
You couldn't find a different platform? You couldn't pay for an escort or something?
Bruh, yeah.
You make good money. At least deal with the woman that's like going to be professional if you're going to get an escort. I don't know.
Right.
But you went on Tinder and you are so cocky and you think that this woman is mesmerized by you because you probably have a lot of resources and money, right? But you don't realize that this woman that's on a date with you, she probably despises you. She probably can see you're a piece of shit. And she was like, let me record this fucking asshole.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Like, yeah, this guy's a piece of shit. Like, I'm gonna play like I like him. And I'm gonna let him hang himself, and I'm gonna put this video out. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
She's probably one of the very liberal women. You know what I mean? She was like, yeah, I'm gonna get him.
Oh yeah. And the thing about it too is she's probably like, hey, you know what? I'm gonna have this guy eating out of my hands, and I'm gonna make him feel comfortable. I'm going to like lean into him and start touching his hands so he really starts feeling like a big man. And a guy that has a fragile ego that's a piece of shit, he's going to start vomiting and volunteering things about himself that are not very colorful, but in his mind, he thinks they are. Mm-hmm. Right?
Yeah.
Fucking idiot.
I'm going to play. I think this is the actual video of him. Let me see if that's the right one.
Video shows the man discussing how State Farm threatens to cancel policies in California in order to pressure state insurance regulators to agree to Keefe Media Group. This was released 1 week after a closed.
They have gone up.
Oh, sorry. That wasn't the right one. It showed the video. Let me see if I can actually.
So somebody else being a dickhead? Goddamn, how many people exist, man?
Hold on. Hayden Kirkpatrick. I'll find it. You can just keep. Oh, sorry.
I would never.
That's Everett right there.
That sounds like the beginning of a porno.
Yeah, I would never.
I'm about to come. You know what'd be crazy? Imagine it's another dude. Like, imagine it's like a dude that's a manager of Little Caesars, and he's like revealing secrets about the company. He's like, yeah, you know, like if you ever need pizza, I'm your guy. You know, if you got a party, whatever the case. I'm good. You know, like I have a direct like line with the resellers of the meat. So all of the pepperonis I get directly, it's like direct to consumer. So yeah, we get that all the time. She's like, oh, tell me more about the pizza. Well, you know, like every morning we make them hot and ready. You know, that's our thing. You know, we customer service is our number one goal. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So, you know, I'm the manager there. So if you need pizza, you'll never pay as long as I'm there. You know, just bring your pretty face over to Little Caesars. You know, if you need me to make you something special in the back, I can do that.
That's exactly how people be talking.
Oh yeah, they want to be a hot shot. They'll be like, yeah, if you need me to roll your dough, I can do that too.
Oh dang.
Yeah. You're looking nice and doughy back there. Yeah, I say, you ever heard of crazy bread? Yeah. You ever heard of crazy head?
I think this is the video. Hold on.
He's like, yeah, I've been working here for 17 years. I know exactly how to stuff your crust.
Let's go.
Oh, man.
What I hate about a lot of these YouTube videos now is that they use the same thumbnails. So you click on the video thinking that it's the video of the person talking, but it's actually like a newscast.
They pull like a LimeWire trick on you?
Exactly.
Like back in the day, you think it's something else. Like, hello, my fellow Americans.
Yeah.
Yo.
That's Soulja Boy, yeah.
Soulja Boy Tim. I was trying to download Paul.
California or some of the fringe areas like where the Palisades are, there should never be houses built where like people want to be built in areas where there are like natural areas around them for their ego, but they're also it's a desert. And so it dries out, and it's a tinderbox, and also it's predictable. Yeah. If you're an insurance professional, it's predictable.
So he's not lying about that, though, because I talked to somebody else that he said if you're an insurance professional, he said it's very predictable. And it's true, but it doesn't change the fact that you are speaking about this in a way where
on a Tinder date.
Yeah, on a Tinder date. Like it's just, oh, we're canceling policies left and right. Read all about it.
And you could just like if you were to watch the video, you would see he's just kind of like so like matter of fact, like, you know, it's just the Palisade is dry. Like, why are they building houses out there?
Yeah,
hopefully I get some pussy later. I just just talking about my State Farm executive salary, and you know.
Yeah, he's a joke. His whole personality is fucking State Farm. Even in the bedroom, he be getting head like, yeah, it's a policy. You would get the best policy for this.
Like a good neighbor, Head Farm is there. Yeah, I can get you an autograph by Chris Paul. Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Oh, my God. Jay from State Farm ain't got shit on this. God damn.
That's comedy.
Yeah, that dude he's just a quack.
Yeah.
There's some people, their job is their whole personality. Stop doing this.
Yeah.
This would never happen if you can, I won't even say compartmentalize. This would never happen if you can keep work, and life.
Yeah.
I don't go on dates with chicks and be like, yeah, I'm a truck driver. I've been driving 10 years and I'm doing this. And I don't solicit certain information. If anything, I want you to tell me about you. I give women the space to speak, like just to talk. Like, let's talk about human stuff. I don't need to talk about it and everything I'm doing.
I think I would cut him a little bit of slack. I think he's still like a terrible person just because you know, you got fired for it. And, you know, there's somebody on there that said basically he can get fired for like lying. He just got fired because he got caught.
Absolutely.
Basically. But I think that if you're like, who knows, like we only got a glimpse of that whole conversation. But it could have been a thing where you just kind of like, just kind of how we do on the podcast. Like we have one topic. And then, you know, she might have been saying something about, you know, like, yeah, I recently, you know, just got new insurance on my house or whatever the case may be. It's like, oh, that's interesting. Like, yeah, blah, blah, blah. And then, you know, one thing led to another, and then he's all of a sudden talking about like State Farm policies in the Palisade.
You know, she had to say something to really get him talking. She's like a good neighbor, pull on my hair.
Yeah, he was prime. Yeah, for sure.
yeah, a couple glasses of vino, and that guy was wet. He was just telling his whole life story. It all started in Scottsdale, Arizona. You know, I've always aspired to be, you know, a CEO or someone of stature in a company. And I got an opportunity as, you know, I came in as a green 18-year-old and, you know, I've been there ever since. And they trust me with millions of dollars.
Yeah.
You know, that Maserati that you seen out front, that's mine. You know that, right? It's like, oh, I didn't know that. Yeah, that's my Maserati. And I'm planning on getting the 2025, but it's on back order right now. Yeah. And this watch, this little watch, it's just the Rolex. It's an AP. Yeah, it's not much, but you know, it tells time, right? You know?
Yeah. Yeah, I just got new flooring in the house as well. Like you'll probably see it a little bit later.
I've got some Roman pillars installed in front of my home. It's nothing major, just a little updates. You know, just try to keep me honest. You know, just every new bonus that I get, I do just you know, I add a couple thousand square feet.
Things here and there. It's really just tax write-offs. You know, eventually.
We could write it off and then you know, put it in the S corporation. This is, you know, funded by one of my other LLCs. You know, it's not. You know, it's not nothing to brag about, but you know,
if you stick around, you know, you could get some of the fruits of my labor, you know, if you just stick around with me for a while.
Yeah, not a problem at all. Actually, it wouldn't be my labor; it'd probably be a Mexican or maybe some indigenous person that works for me. You know, well, it's not a big deal. You know? If they say anything, then you know we'll call ICE. You know?
We'll call ICE.
Yeah, there's a Jamaican. He's a great guy, but he's got an outdated visa. Yeah, he smokes marijuana too. So I'll just tell him that he does drugs. I was wondering when it's gonna stop. I was like, when are we gonna stop doing this? The sad part about it is people think like this, man.
Yeah.
The people think like this, bro. They think that who they are is impressive, and they start spilling everything.
You know, it's crazy how I actually heard about this topic is one of my coworkers came into my class and he was like, "Hey man, did you hear about this?" And he told me the whole thing. And I was like, "Yo, that's crazy." It's always a woman, man. It's always a woman that's getting these
Absolutely.
people caught up, dude. They be living their life out here thinking everything is all good. And it reminded me of the what's the dude named Sterling, from the Clippers.
Oh, Donald Sterling.
Donald Sterling.
It's
yeah.
always a woman that gets men caught up because they're so fucking stupid.
Yeah.
Yeah,
He get around women and they just start spilling their souls.
Yeah, if Hulk Hogan got busted on the recording, a whole bunch of people.
Shout out to the women though that's catching all this
Absolutely.
nonsense. Yeah.
Absolutely. Let's get that woman a kudos. I want to see what she looks like.
Yeah.
I'm curious what she looks like. I'm pretty sure she has huge breasts. I'm not trying to be that guy. But in order to make somebody that stupid, you got something going on.
Yeah.
You got something going on. I don't know what.
Yeah.
Or maybe he's just a fucking idiot. How about that?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's enough.
Some people were saying he was kind of set up, but either way, like, he's been an idiot. It could either be set up or it could be a situation where she was in the heat of the moment, like, this dude is talking crazy. And maybe she knew somebody in the Palisades, or she just had a lot of empathy for the situation because it was the biggest news headline for, about a month or so. So, yeah, ain't no telling.
Well, I mean, the trash took itself out.
Yeah.
I mean, that works there.
You think you'll ever find another job in that same capacity?
I believe a person like him will find a way to get another occupation somewhere else.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Guys like him don't stay down for too long.
No, not at all.
Mm-hmm.
He'd be like, I was making $6 million over at State Farm. And I took quite a tax cut. Right now I'm making $6 million. And, I had to downsize a little bit. The compound that I had over in New Jersey, I ended up selling that for $9 million. So I had to make my money back on the back end. We put it into to an S corporation.
Yeah.
But yeah, times are really tough around here. They're really tough. We can only use the yacht about 7 times a year now. We can't take the yacht out anymore.
Yeah.
It's like, golly.
I had to pull a little bit of funds from my retirement a little early. Then I had a little tax, there was a little tax I had to pay on that. But yeah, overall, like you said, my salary was $6 million. It's now $2 million and some change. But we're making it work.
Yeah, we rid off a lot of money. We actually gave back to the black community. I donated $50 to the HBCU Foundation. But I was able to get $1 million back on that $50 that I put into there. So, I mean, it's my small contribution to the black community. If I can do more, I would. But $50 is as much as I care at this time.
Times are rough right now, so yeah.
Yeah, times are rough. We got to definitely. What the hell's going on in there? They cleaning?
Building something.
They're building something. Jesus Christ! Somebody's making noise in there. But yeah, man, there's that. I don't got much. You got anything else?
Nah.
All right, man, let's go ahead and move on. That person is very aggressively mopping in the hallway there. All right, switching gears. Why do we hate nepotism? All right, now, here's the thing. I think that as regular, everyday, hardworking people that work jobs, I think sometimes we can feel very jaded. I think it's very easy to be at work and be like, I'm tired of this. I'm tired of doing this. I'm tired of showing up to work. Some people, you hate your job. You're working in an Amazon warehouse, wherever you're working, right? It's just annoying. Or for the, I don't know if this is the proper diction, but monotonous. It becomes the monotony of it, I guess. But we see people that have like rich parents that set them up and will be like, oh, like these people, they gave them this. Like, I didn't come from money. Like, I didn't come with a silver spoon in my mouth. And I've said this a million times. But honestly, who the fuck cares? Like, that's not a badge of honor. Like, I grew up poor. But that's not something for me to be like, well, I grew up poor, so I had to earn everything on my own. Like, okay, good for you. You want a cookie for that, motherfucker? Right? A person that's growing up with nepotism, oftentimes it means that their parents had some form of structure, financial structure, and it got passed down to them. I don't see a problem with that. I think that you always want to see the next generation be better anyways. So as much as I don't care for a guy like Donald Trump, I think that when he mentioned like my father gave me a small loan of $1 million. And we was all like, small loan, shut the fuck up, right? But when your father is in that position to put you to do that, and then you start to earn hundreds of millions and billions of dollars, I mean, hey, dude, it's no different than him or anyone else or Elon or all these people had parents that had money. Mm. And you can't be mad at people for having money.
Yeah.
Like, you can't be mad at them. Because even on a small scale, right? If I had kids and a wife and everything and I'm making good money, I don't care if my wife works. I'll take care of everything. If my kids are at home and they're like 22, 23, I'm not going to tell them, hey, you need to move out. Like, I want them to be financially squared away before they leave my home. Mm-hmm. Especially now. If I had kids, I would tell them, hey, you could stay here as long as you need to stay here. I just want you to be setting yourself up, and I will take care of you the rest of the way. Like, I'll send you out of my house with $8,000 to $10,000 just so you could be set up in your own place and you don't got to worry about money, you know?
Yeah.
But for some reason, when we work these jobs or we grow up poor, we just project our energy on the rich people. Like, a person being rich does not make them inherently bad.
Yeah. I just think, that I think that's a part of it. I think where I would take it is like, if I'm benefiting from nepotism, I'm not going to complain about it.
Absolutely.
One, because I know that whatever position I'm in, I'm going to be qualified for it.
Right.
I'm just getting the job because of somebody that I know. It's just making it easier.
Right.
So, for example, like I worked on a couple TV shows, and my cousin was a production manager on So You Think You Can Dance and on American Idol. So I got to work on So You Think You Can Dance, and it was literally just like a call. Like, all right, like come out here, you could stay here, you could work, whatever the case may be. And he really set me up, and I wasn't a great like PA. It's just because I wasn't really passionate about it. I wasn't a bad one either, but I just wasn't like, when you see some of these PAs, I think this is also the conversation a lot of people have when they're wealthy, like when they're wealthy and then they have kids who don't quite understand like what dad and mom had to do to make it out of the hood, like the amount of work that they had to put in to be successful. And then the kid comes around and they have like a little bit of an easier life, so, they don't have that same like hunger for just success as the parents had. But so I say that to say, like, me getting the job from my cousin, but then also my colleagues or people that came from like Florida, just drove down from Florida with $1,000 in their bank account and, just looking for work, or like they drove from Minnesota or hopped on a plane and, with a bag full of clothes, just trying to make it work. Like, I didn't really have that experience. So I wasn't like, I know some people that would like run to, like, say, for example, they'd be like, hey, can you run down to CVS to pick up some, I don't know, Band-Aids or something like that and bring them back or whatever. Right. I know people that would like jog to their car. And I was like, that's not me. Like, this work is not that serious for me to be like jogging around places like in that capacity. I'm going to move, accordingly, but I'm not going to be jogging around the freaking, CBS lot. But anyway, so I say that to say, like, I'm not going to be mad at anybody getting any sort of position because of their relationships with, whomever, because I know that on the other end, if I benefited from that, then I'm not going to be mad at it because I know that I put the work in to get to, to certain places. And if I did benefit from it, if whatever the case may be, like if I am some executive or some director of, some Disney production or something like that.
Right.
And I give my niece a role as like the little kid that walks in and says hi to the teacher or whatever in a TV show or a movie. Like, that's what I can do. And that's the opportunity I can give my family just because I put myself in that position.
Yeah, that's what happened.
Yeah. So, so that's kind of my take on that. But I think in any way, shape or form, there are, even if you are benefiting from nepotism in some way, shape, or form, for the most part, you're going to have like the qualifications that align with it. You know what I mean? Very rarely is somebody that's like extremely underqualified going to be put in a position where they're running some sort of company or something like that. Even for me, like the reason I got that job was, because my cousin, whatever, but also like I was going to film school. So like it was just kind of like right up my alley to be getting that experience working on, different productions and stuff like that. But
yeah, this is not new as far as I was looking up Tori Spelling from back in the day. Mm-hmm. She's her dad. I forgot what her dad's position was, but he got her roles, and people used to like chastise her for getting it.
Yeah,
but it's like, of course, the problem with nepotism where it comes into play is there are some people that are better to be in a position than you are, but you're going to get it because you're directly related to the, dad, mom, cousin, uncle, brother, family member, because, we already talked about Brownie. I don't want to reduce the kid, but I'm pretty positive that there are people more fitting for that position on that team, but his dad plays for the Lakers, right? And he's one of the best players to ever play the game. Mm-hmm. So that's where the nepotism comes into play.
That's a pool.
But I will say this is like a subtopic from the conversation of nepotism. And it's that I think we frown down on this, but here's a problem. When you look at a lot of the problems that people have, or young people, when it comes to learning and everything, it's because their needs aren't being met because there's not enough money in the home, right? And it sounds fucked up, but it's Maslow's hierarchy of needs. Mm-hmm. And this is what's on that list. Hold on. And this one it's like a little chart. It says the top one is self-actualization, desire to become the most that one can be, esteem, respect, self-esteem, status, recognition, strength, freedom, love and belonging, friendship, intimacy, family, sense of connection, safety needs, personal security, employment, resources, health, and property. And the last one is psychological needs: air, water, food, shelter, sleep, clothing, reproduction, right? Mm-hmm. Now, here's the deal. When you're a kid, right, and some of these things have happened to me. When you're a kid and you're in school and you're having a hard time focusing because you know that they just put a 3-day notice on your door and you and your family might be homeless, it's hard for you to focus in class, man. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? And I think a kid that's rich and their family has money, they don't have to worry about that at least. Mm-hmm. They can focus on whatever said task. Mm-hmm. And that's why it's not okay to always be like, well, I grew up in the hood, or I grew up poor and I started this way. It's like, well, I'm glad you overcame that. But that's not something that you should be throwing around like it's a fucking badge of honor. Mm-hmm. Growing up poor is not something to be proud about. Being in the hood is not something you should be proud about. Mm-hmm. You should be glad you got the fuck out of there. That's more or less, where your stance should be, know? Mm-hmm. But that's, I don't know. Mm-hmm. That's just one thing. Also, too, there's the wealth disparity realities. I think you start to realize how other kids are living when you grow up poor and you go over a friend's house, right? And I remember going over a friend's house and you'll be like, hey, man, if I got some chips or something? They'll be like, yeah, dude, just go in the kitchen. And you go in the kitchen and you be like, where's the chips? Like, oh, it's in the pantry. And you be like, what's a pantry? Mm-hmm. Like, just open that door, dude. It's right there. So you open the door and you see a bunch of snacks. It looks like a store in there. Yeah. And then you'll be like, oh, can I have some cookies too? They'll be like, yeah. Mm-hmm. Who cares, dude? Just go ahead and grab some cookies. Yeah. Like, to them, the way they look at food is different. It's unlimited. Right. They always have food. They don't have to ask, can I have some cookies? Can I have some this and that? Yeah. Because when you don't grow up poor, that's not a battle that you have. Mm-hmm. And this motherfucker's making a lot of noise next door. God damn. He's throwing off my thinking, man. Shit.
Gotta lock in, man.
Man, I'm locked in. I'm trying. I got these headphones on and everything. This nigga's breakdancing next door. I swear to God. Man, he might as well put the breakdancing music on. Boom, doom, doom, doom. Dum, 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 dum. That's what I was thinking he's about to do. Put that breakdown, put one of them helmets on and start spinning on his head.
Yeah. One thing that I think part of the whole what you call like nepotism is not necessarily like opportunities per se, but just like resources in a way where so for example, when you have like You talk about Bronny. You talk about Steph Curry, like his dad played in the NBA. So he's around professional basketball all day long. Yep. So when it comes to training, when it comes to know-how, like so there's a certain, I wouldn't equate that to like the traditional nepotism, but when you have like a dad, you know, that same thing with Peyton Manning, like his dad played in the NFL, so it gave him the upper hand in terms of other there could be some raw quarterback out there in New Orleans somewhere that was like, maybe had a little bit of a better arm, maybe had a little bit more accurate arm, whatever the case may be. But because Peyton Manning grew up in a household where his dad was breaking down real NFL defenses all day long, like he already had that kind of like relationship with football far before, you know, he even, you know, got into high school and college and stuff like that. Same thing with their nephew at Texas. I'm sure like he been around high level quarterback play for so long, like it's just like it's second nature. So same thing with a lot of these like, you know, these basketball players and stuff like that. Like they just have, when your dad played college, when your dad played in the NBA or whatever the case may be, you just have that it's just in the household.
That pedigree.
Yeah. So that know-how where you can say like, hey son, this is what you need to work on. This is how you get to college. This is how, like a lot of that stuff is like, even I know for me, I didn't really know, like I knew what college was and I knew that I was going to go. I knew I had decent grades, but I didn't really know how to get there. You know what I mean? Like in terms of playing sports, like I didn't really know about the clearinghouse. I didn't really know about like football camps. I didn't really know about like Division II versus Division III versus NAIA, like, and how like people can really be successful playing in these places and stuff like that. Like I didn't really know enough, you know, in order to really take advantage of those opportunities. Because mind you, this is like we had the internet back then. But it wasn't like I can just Google on my phone or look up a video on YouTube of a person say, hey, are you a high school senior right now? Then you want to play college football? This is how you do it. You know, like this was a different era back then. So I say that to say like that's like a different aspect of like having those family dynamics, even in the industry. Like when you got Will Smith, he like, hey, put my son in pursuit of happiness. Or,
Jaden.
Like, or I want my son to be, if you want me to produce this, put my son in this. You know, it's just like those type of things. And, you know, after that, I mean, those kids are extremely talented. So I'm not making it sound
good.
Like, and Willow Smith is really talented also. So I'm not making it sound like they just got handouts, but at the same time, like they just got
that pedigree.
Like a certain, like you said, like that. My dad is one of the best actors of all time. And he's just giving me these opportunities.
Jaden, I like Jaden Smith, man. He's also a good musician too.
Yeah,
he's a hell of a. That one song, this is an album called Sire. Is that what it's called?
That
was dope.
Yeah, some dope music.
I fuck with that. with that. Yeah, he's a dope artist and an actor. But that nigga had a house on his head. Did you see that?
Yeah.
What the fuck was that? Was that like a subliminal message or something, or was this a fashion statement?
I don't know what the message was.
He had like it was a house, like like somebody made a hat, but they made it was a whole house on his head. And then he was walking into some awards he went into. I can't remember.
I think it was the Grammys.
It was the Grammys, okay.
Yeah, I think so.
Well, he was walking in the Grammys and somebody said, Jaden, you look gay.
Oh, dang.
And he was like, thank you, man.
That's crazy.
Yeah, I was like, come on, man. Ain't no need for that. Ain't no need for that, bro.
Jaden is I can't really do the words.
Like, well, you know, my son Jaden, you know, he's really a guy that he speaks for himself, you know, it artistically, and he wore that hat on his head, and you know, I told him, it looks kind of crazy, but when he explained to me what the purpose was, I was like, oh, okay, I understand. So what's the message, Will? What's the message behind the hat? You know, it's to say that you can't turn a house into a home. And that's what my son was telling everyone, is that you can't turn a house into a home. You have to be the home. And I hope everyone received the message. It's like, rich fucking rich musicians and actors are so bored with life that they're trying to make these like grand messages that no one asked for.
It's also coupled with the designers, because like we just seen a video where the guy had the little boob strap.
Yeah,
thing.
it's like, what the fuck is going on?
But that was like I don't know if that was like a fashion show or like they were like in a cubicle. Basically, there was a guy and they were making fun of Omarion, but there was a guy who was wearing like titties. He had like a tank top with some titties on there.
Yeah.
And he was just walking through the little runway or whatever. But I say that to say, like, in somewhere that is probably like some sort of like high fashion designer put that together. You know what I mean? So same thing with the house that was on Jaden's head. The girl, Tyler, I think it is. She had like a dress that was made out of sand, like stuff like that. So
So these celebrities be doing too much. Fucking remember, Lady Gaga had a dress made out of meat. Mm-hmm. I'm like, how much attention do you fucking need?
Right.
Yeah, somebody could have ate that beef.
Yeah,
I know she was stanking too.
yeah, she was probably funky.
Somebody behind her was like, God damn, why they put me behind her?
Yeah,
At least put some seasoning on that motherfucker. God damn. Yeah, I don't know what's. I think she took the dress off after a while.
yeah, I don't know. That's crazy.
Ugh, that's so disgusting.
That probably had to be. Yeah, it smelled terrible.
But they was clowning Omarion. You gotta understand, Omarion is 40 years old and he was on stage and he took his shirt off and he did look like he had titties, man. I'm not trying to judge the man, but he is 40. And he was like, your body sing, oh, right? And then the comments was wild, bro. They was wild. And then other people was like, man, that dude is 40. You probably don't realize that he ain't been to the gym in a while.
Right. He on tour. Yeah. And Omarion is a person that, for the better part of his life, he'd been in, decent shape. And I like you said, I think he's 40 years old now. Yeah. He's on tour. He probably, you always the last one to know.
But that shit looked like legit titties though, bro. That shit looked crazy.
Yeah. It just looked like, I know what that looks like. You got like you can tell he used to have abs and stuff under there, but now it's just everything is hanging a little bit more.
That nigga's phone number is 1-800-STUD. Hey, what's going on, man? It's Omarion. What's going on? That's like, oh, why did I get this number?
Yeah.
Somebody said he looked like a stud with his shirt off. That's fucked up, man. Yeah. Shout out to Omarion, bro.
Yeah.
All right. Shout out to him, man. All right. Let's go and wrap it up with this last one here. Switching gears. Kevin Gates. Kevin Gates says he apologizes to his penis. I can't believe I put you through this, end quote. Okay. Kevin Gates. He said, and I seen the audio, but I don't have it now, so we'll just read through it. Kevin Gates has revealed he's apologized to his penis several times for all the situations he put himself through with other women. During his visit to Black Boy Stream, Gates took some time to speak on people making mistakes and how he's a member of the club, especially when it comes to sexual interactions. He didn't need to put himself through. According to Gates, he's been in some wild situations. And because of that, he's made sure to apologize to his penis. And I'm going to read this in his voice. You want to run the audio or no?
You got it?
Yeah, I got it.
Yeah.
Check it out. Let's see if I can send it to you via tweet. Or I can send you the Complex website and you can just click on it from there. How about that, Keith? Does that work?
Yeah.
All right, I'm sending it to Keith, you guys. Just hang on, okay? I want you to hear from Kevin Gates' mouth. Because, I'm going to put it right underneath it right now. Wait, it's actually it's already in there.
The notes.
Yeah, it's the link that's on there. And you just scroll down and it'll pull it open.
Yeah.
He said, hey, look here, big brother. I ain't here to lie to you. I apologize to my motherfucking penis, bro. I done put you through so much, man. Like, all right, Kevin Gates. I don't get tired. Is it popping up?
It's the one underneath.
Yeah, it's underneath. It's the only video. It's the Twitter.
Yeah, it's not playing as well.
It's not playing?
Yeah, hold on.
No way.
It's like a few different ones on there, so I'm trying to see if it's the right one. It says on stream. Let me see if I could go to.
I clicked on it. Here it is right here. You just got to click on it.
Yeah, no, it wasn't playing though.
Oh.
Hold on.
To make mistakes, man. I done had to apologize to my dick a lot of times. Like, it's beautiful when you allow yourself to make mistakes, man. I done had to apologize to my dick a lot of times. Like, I can't believe I put you through this. I can't believe I put you through this, bro. I never do this to you again.
Yo, I ain't never thought about that one. I'm not gonna lie.
I done had to apologize.
That shit.
I done had to apologize to myself before because I was like, damn, it done got this bad. It done got this bad.
And what do that look like? Is it like I'm not gonna let you down again? Like
Yeah, I'm not gonna let you down again. I'm gonna exhibit a greater level of self-worth.
You want to lose, yes.
It's beautiful when you allow yourself to make mistakes, man. I done had to apologize to my dick a lot of times. Like, I can't believe.
I'm like just gonna keep. I done had to apologize to my. I done had to apologize to my. I done had to apologize to my. I'm not gonna keep playing.
Yeah, it's like, dude, shut up. You had to apologize to your dick, man. How about you just have accountability and leave it alone? Nobody forced you to do anything. I think Kevin Gates has a lot of these takes.
Yeah.
He'll be like, man, it was a time when I met this girl, man. We was hitting it off. I found out she was my cousin. And, it was too late by then. I kept on handling that. You feel me? I'm like, what the fuck? This dude admitted publicly that he was messing with this chick,
with his cousin.
found out she was his cousin, and it was like, fuck it, it's too late. So then they just kept fucking. I'm like, dude, why would you admit that publicly?
Yeah.
This motherfucker said, man, Kevin Gates, he should just have like a literal, like all the quotes this man has said.
Yeah.
Sometimes he makes sense.
My cuddy could have a fat ass too. Ain't nothing wrong with that. I still smack that down.
Shit, ain't nothing wrong with that. Shit, if it's your auntie, don't matter who it is. You're like, nah, bro, you tripping, bro. What the fuck is your problem? He's like, fuck around and be somebody's grandma. I don't give a fuck. I don't get tired.
It ain't my sister.
Hey, look here, big brother. I don't know what to tell you. I've been trying to control myself, man, but shit, I'm seeing these grandmas different nowadays. You know what I'm saying, big brother? Grandmas different. Big booties and everything. God damn it.
Big booty.
On guard. Booty big as a motherfucker. She was 68 years old.
I just apologized to my dick afterward. Ain't nothing to it.
Yeah, I apologized to my dick. She was 84 years old. I don't get tired. Booty big as a motherfucker. Wearing a diaper and everything. Shit. Look, I ain't gonna lie to you, big brother. I've been trying to control myself. You feel me? But if one thing's for truth, one thing's for certain. If a booty big, I'ma be there. I don't get tired.
I think the thing with Kevin Gates is he's kind of well spoken, especially being from the South.
Right.
So that it when you kind of like the T.I., he's well spoken too. When you got that thick accent and you from the South and you well spoken, so a lot of these things just sound like a little more elaborate than
T.I. is a pretty sharp dude, but he unnecessarily uses I don't want to say big words. He just improperly uses words when they're necessary. Like the improbabilities of me going to Little Caesars Pizza just don't make no sense. Like, nigga, what you didn't even need to say that word right now. You didn't need to say that.
Yeah.
He's like, the probabilities of me pulling out $8,000 to give to somebody that's not going to use it properly. It's just embigazua.
Embigazua. Embigazua.
Like, what? I got to go to my phone and look this shit up.
Embigazua.
The ambiguity of this situation is just not really worth my time. I feel that the integrity of the media that is allowing a lot of this rigmarole and riffraff to take place is something that it don't sit well on my soul. And I don't know the proper nomenclature of what exactly is going on right now, but I can see it. You know what I'm saying? Shannon Sharp kind of uses big words sometimes too. It's fucking hilarious. Shannon Sharp be like, I couldn't tell exactly where my thoughts had taken me at that time, but I can say that things gonna be all right. My grandmama told me one time, if you can't stroke her down, then stroke her down later. Like, oh, all right, Shannon Sharp. Yeah.
That was funny.
Yeah, the inclassification of who I've been as a man has always been something that people have said about me, but I've never really thought about it that way, Schultz. Schultz, I never thought about that. So Andrew, because he just had Andrew Schultz. So Andrew, people saying that you're racist. They're saying that you're racist. They're saying you're saying racist things. What is something you can say to dimmer that idea? Schultz is like, I don't know, man. You got to be a little racist sometimes. Schultz will just lean into shit. He don't give a fuck.
Yeah. They have a funny dynamic.
Yeah, they do.
Shannon Sharp is so serious, and then like
he had Shannon fucking laughing.
Yeah, and Schultz is a jokester.
Yeah, Schultz says something like, so he's like, Schultz asked Shannon, he was like, so is it true you like exclusively mess with white women or what? And he was like, I go where I'm appreciated. I know he said, I go where I'm appreciated and celebrated.
Not
I know he said,
tolerate.
I go where I'm appreciated, not tolerated. Right? Like I don't have a particular type. I don't have it be anybody, black, white, it don't matter to me. Mm-hmm. I just go where I am appreciated.
Yeah.
I'm like, all right, Shannon. Jeez.
Yeah. What color was Michelle, Shannon?
Oh, that'd be a good one.
Michelle, I think you could hear her in there. She sounded a little ethnic.
Yeah.
She sounded a little black.
Look here, I think I like to keep my life private. I don't have any of those things that go on out here. But what I can tell you is Michelle is indigenous. That's what I can say. Definitely an indigenous descent. To be more specifically, Polynesian. Yeah, he's Polynesian. That nigga was going crazy.
Whether they black, white, or Hispanic, the ass is still black.
Yeah.
The ass is gonna be fat.
Whether they black, white, or Hispanic, I ain't gonna panic.
Because grandmama always said you gotta handle that ass.
That nigga went straight to it. Oh, Shannon Sharp is crazy. Oh my God. Oh man. Whether they black, white, or Hispanic, whether they're in the future or the past, I'm gonna handle that ass.
Whether they blue, white, or green, she got to be a sex machine.
Oh man. Bump and grind, she is mine, Lakers in 5. Oh man, this nigga Shannon Sharp is crazy, bro. Oh man. Stephen A. Smith. LeBron came to me as a father. He came to me as a father. You know, what's crazy to me is LeBron James comes to me about his son. Don't talk to my fucking son. Keep my fucking son out of this. And I'm like, come on, LeBron. I'm from Bed-Stuy, Brooklyn, born and raised. It ain't got nothing to do with you right now. What's funny about Stephen A., he gives you like a track record of his accomplishments when he's like trying to really get deep in the story.
Yeah.
He's like, see, everybody can't be like LeBron James or Michael Jordan. But me, I'm from Bed-Stuy, Brooklyn. I could barely read when I came up. I had a bad education. I had an educational problem. Went to all black college, Ivy League school. Then I dedicated my time to journalism, winning the journalism.
Yeah, he do be doing that. He do be doing that.
Like this nigga giving you his whole lifeline when he's trying to tell a story.
I had to learn to read from T.I. Paper trails. You think I knew what expeditiously meant?
Y'all don't know how hard it is to read when your hairline starts to the middle of your forehead and you're trying to pay attention in class. I'm from Bed-Stuy, Brooklyn. I'm not from the upper side of town. A lot of my partners I grew up with, they got sent upstate to the brink. Went to prison or whatever. They went to Rikers. My little brother Ernie got busted stealing at a bodega. They sent him to Rikers Island.
That's funny. A lot of people that I came up with could go to regular barbers, but not me. I had to go to them different type of barbers, ones that would start back here. You know what that would do to a man? He was coming to me as a father. And my hairline started farther back.
That was double entendre. Golly. Oh, Stephen A. Smith is crazy. I got my first haircut from a brain surgeon. That nigga used an X-Acto knife on my forehead. I'm from Bed-Stuy, Brooklyn, yo. I'm from the hood. Yo, I think somebody's got to have a heart-to-heart with Stephen A. Smith and tell him about that hairline, man.
Yeah.
That's $100 million, man.
I think it's different, though, when you get so... What is he, in his 60s?
No, he's in the 50s. He's 57.
He's in his 50s? 57? Yeah, he's in his late 50s.
That nigga, he need to go to Turkey.
Yeah.
What he needs to do, because here's the problem with Stephen A. Smith, what sucks. He can't do anything drastic to his hair because he's always on TV. Mm-hmm. So if he does anything, they're going to notice it. If he paints it, they're going to notice it. He needs to go.
He be having I don't know how you work it out, because the celebrities, they be doing it. Like, we'll see, and I don't know, when I've seen the TikTok videos, the healing process looks crazy. Like,
yeah,
it looks like it takes a while.
They look like they got scalped, dude.
But the celebrities, I don't know how they do it, but you be catching these different celebrities. They'll make their little trip to Turkey and come back, and it just be like full blown afro. So Stephen A. would probably get and they could do it even here. I mean, I think there's some doctors. That do it, like, stateside.
LeBron needs to do it, bro.
I think LeBron tried it, and I think it probably didn't.
But
probably didn't take.
Joe Rogan was talking about it. They said when Joe Rogan said he did it.
No, Joe Rogan got the
old school.
The one where they cut your head open.
Yeah, but he said he hasn't done it since. Mm-hmm. But I think that I don't know if LeBron got the most recent. I don't think he went to Turkey with it.
Yeah, because he got his. I think he got an OG one back, like that one.
They need to.
I don't know if he got the one where they cut the skin though.
I don't know. All I know is the back of his head is fucking ate up. So yeah, shout out to LeBron's hairline, man. I don't know if we got much else to say about this, man, but we hope we gave you a great show, man. This is getting late here, man. We got to get out of here. Our objective every week is to bring content to those that might be sitting at work. You might be sitting at a cubicle. You might be driving and commuting to work. You might be taking a break from work. You might be listening to us on your lunch break.
Cleaning up.
You might be cleaning up, listening to us. Yeah. And we just hope that we are engaging you enough to where you can laugh and you can think. And you can tell a friend and tell them, hey, I found this new podcast.
Yeah.
And these two black guys are on there and they're very handsome. And I like listening to them.
Yeah.
Right?
Believe I put you.
Oh, sorry.
Dang.
I was trying to see if there was anything trending before we got out of here.
Oh, shit. Do it.
Yeah.
You take a quick second.
Yeah.
Because I think it's always a treat when we find something that's happening in real time. When the Will Smith shit happened with Chris Rock, that we literally were podcasting like 8 minutes later. Like it was happening. And then in real time, there were other things happening. That was crazy. We might have been one of the first. Dude, I think we were.
I mean, it happened right after.
Yeah. I think we might have been one of the first live podcasts at that time to report on the Will Smith shit. I remember somebody commented. They was like, how the fuck did you guys talk about Will Smith already?
That's crazy. I didn't know that.
Yeah. They was like, bro, how the fuck are you already talking about Will Smith?
Yeah.
And I was like, dude, as we were recording, that shit was happening. And I remember you said something hilarious. You was like, the PAs or the people on the intercom, he's like, they were like, the way they were talking. He's like, all right, pan, 11, move 7, camera 7, move it. All right, these niggas are crazy.
That's how they be talking. A little behind the scenes with the directors and stuff. I don't see nothing on here. The only thing I seen is that nigga, I don't say nigga, but Jamar Chase got a nice little contract.
Oh yeah, I seen that. Him and Higgins both got paid.
Yeah.
You gotta pay him. You got no choice. Those two guys are really good.
Oh yeah.
So yeah, there's that. All right, well, folks, appreciate you. Thank you. If you made it to the end of this episode, we appreciate you. Thank you for listening to a Trucker's Mind podcast. I'm Eddie McGee.
Boy K Fings.
We are out of here.
Peace.